What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. We've got another Alliance War video for you guys today, and we're actually giving Archangel a spotlight, which is pretty rare. Archangel has kind of fallen off the meta as far as Alliance War, especially, well, I guess it was mostly the last map, which discouraged Archangel's gameplay because of the hidden nodes, just because you wouldn't be able to predict whether a champion had an immunity or not. So if they had an immunity, Archangel was like, there's just no point to bringing him. But bringing him today, we have the class mastery. The class masteries that reveal which class and rank for everything. So first one, Archangel. So we got a pretty good matchup. However, he's shrugging off everything, and so the first part of the fight doesn't look too good, not gonna lie. So I'm thinking, it's like, well, this I might as well just regular hit him, bait an SP1, but eventually I believe we do finally get a bleed to stick on. Okay, there, and we finally get a bleed to stick on, which does reduce his ability to shrug off. Alright, and finally go in with an L2, get a nice neurotoxin on there. He throws L1 again, but yeah, he's over. So first fight went pretty well, although it was a pretty fight, to be fair. Next one though, this one actually is this is the Aegis heavy. You gotta heavy the opponent 6 times, and now for this node, there is very rare for me to. There are very few select fights where I don't use Quake for this. Quake just makes this so easy, and yeah. So we're gonna go in. We're just gonna heavy. We're gonna bait this L1. There we go. And sometimes you can evade out of the last part, but sometimes you can't. Depends on my timing. My timing was off, obviously. Otherwise I would have gotten it. And now we just need one more. There we go. And we're just gonna wait this out. We're gonna let him throw his SP1 again. And now the reason I use Quake is because of the weakness. Because I run willpower. So basically I just do my thing. And if I'm running suicide, the fight obviously goes faster, but thing is that no matter who the opponent is, if I'm backed up in the corner, as long as they can't prevent me from evading, I'm basically doing damage to them while getting some free healing. I try not to get too many, well, not like I have a choice to not get too many of those weakness buffs, because then the fight goes a lot slower. But yeah, I mean, like, I'm in the corner, I'm healing for 103 per tick for free. Fight does go a little slower, but I mean, it's potions I don't have to use. And I got hit with the heavy, the last part of it. I actually found out how to evade his heavy with Quake. Basically, everybody's been doing evade and then heavy to evade it, but the secret is that you need to evade the first part with a regular dex and evade the last part with a heavy, and that will guarantee you to evade his heavy completely with no issues. And there we go, Darkhawk is down, full attack bonus, and we go on to the next node. So far looking pretty good. All my champions are looking pretty healthy. Now we're going on to the next fight. The next fight is Aspect of Evolution and Power Star 1. So as you can see, it's Cosmic, a 5-star, and at rank 5 with 1 persistent charge. So this is going to be a Cull Obsidian. I'm thinking of making an infograph of the class champions with their what's it called? With their persistent charges in class. This will only really help though on this path, but I think it'd be worth it. It'd help me out. I'm sure it'll help out a couple people too. Alright, and at the very start of the fight, I actually got hit. I missed my parry. That must have been it. And this guy's running max limber as well. But we got 4 neurotoxins on there. He's doing a pretty nice chunk of damage. It's like 2% damage. There we go. Wait for the other one, and another heavy. And usually I do like to throw an L1 if I have a good amount of bleeds, just because it gives me a pretty nice chance to poison the opponent. So there we go, got 3 neurotoxins, 4, 5, and we can just hang in and let him just die. Alright, and now for the last of these hidden nodes. Let's see. I think the last hidden node, it's not revealed yet. Okay, so we know it's a 5-star. We know it's gonna either be a tech or a skill, because those are the only ones I don't have. And I thought it was gonna be a tech, but it ended up being an Elsa Bloodstone. And I'm like, oh shoot. And luckily, you guys have no idea, like, luckily the person who plays didn't run half suicides, or else I'm like 97% sure I would have been dead to Elsa's degen damage. So basically, one of Elsa's abilities is that if she's bleeding and the opponent isn't a mutant champion, then that champion will degen for the whole duration that the bleed is ticking. So if I were to go in here with Warlock and use the heavy, I would degen for a good period of time. So got really lucky here, and yeah, my heart was like, oh, like what are you doing to me? But luckily the person wasn't running suicides, so there's that. Plus the fight's going good. Elsa does have I believe her last medium is a projectile, so parry doesn't land. And yeah, it's a little bit of a slower fight, but just so glad that we didn't die here, because I'm not gonna lie, it's a pretty dumb mechanic. I mean, it seems like for lane 7, running a mutant or a champion that's cold snap immune and a champion that is a mutant is like pretty necessary, or else you can get messed up. And there we go, Elsa Bloodstone is down. Alright, on to the next. Okay, so these two actually got taken down by somebody else. I kind of wanted to take both of them with Archangel, but by the time I got back into Alliance War, it was already taken care of. As you can see, it was from 14 hours to 11 hours left in Alliance War, and my job is to now take down the next 2 mini bosses. Now this mini boss is pretty cake. I turned the suicides back on, so that's why you see my attack is up to 4,297. Just makes the fight a lot faster. The faster the fight goes, the easier or the less chance there is for you to mess up. So yeah, just gonna shake and bake and let Quake do her thing. So let's see, the first one, yeah, it's like Quake of Suicide, like you like basically double your damage. It's like insane. Quake is like one of the champions that like benefits so immensely from suicides that it just kind of doesn't make sense to not run her with suicides unless there's a purpose behind it. So alright, use the heavy just to give me some space, and I'm not. There's been I feel like I'm not sure if the AI is just slowing down one of their attacks, or my timing is just off, but there are a lot of times I miss the parry with the like second medium. But take her down regardless, and we're on to basically our last fight. But I do get some boss action. Not gonna lie, it wasn't pretty, but it was some action regardless. Alright, so we're gonna heal up to full, and we're gonna need it because Dr. Doom, I'm not gonna lie, he's a pretty cheesy defender because he has crit resistance, he has block penetration, he has stun immunity and unstoppable, while he has his aura up. So if he throws an SP1, he has 6 seconds of it. So 6 seconds might not seem like a lot, but if he throws, let's say, 5 L1s in a fight, that's 30 seconds of him, you know, where you can't throw a special attack or a heavy. So we're going to go in with Shake and Bake, and we're going to try not to get clipped. This is fully debuff immune. We have the class advantage, so we're going to be dealing a little bit extra damage. As you can see there, almost 10,000 per tick. He's down to 80%. Now, guys, this is like this. So I feel like Quake on debuff immune is a lot easier than Quake on like stun immune, just because of the concussion kind of messes you up sometimes, or at least it messes me up. But yeah, guys, this fight is not easy. This fight is difficult. You just have to be in focus mode the whole time. So down to 40%, and we're doing good so far. I haven't gotten clipped yet, and every time he goes for a heavy, I go for a heavy just to evade it, not to mess up my timing, and I mess up my timing. And so yeah, we're down to 42%, 40%, but he has block penetration, and I get hit again. Now I'm down to 5% health. He has still 20%, and I have to play completely stun immune now. So I am almost about to poop myself, and that block was I blocked for 0, and I'm so lucky. And finally, the final aftershock took him down, and just barely took him down. Oh my god, you guys have no idea. My heart was beating like crazy. But next up, like I still remember the feeling. I had 2% health left. One of the blocked hits was 450. Okay, but now this invisible woman. So at the very start of the fight, you cannot hit her. And so I do that, and you have to take down the shield first. Now, one of the things about Warlock is that he doesn't have a bleed, but it's pretty tough to get his heavy off of it against Invisible Woman in the middle of the stage, because of her heavy doesn't like push her that much, like forward. Unlike like Juggernaut's is pretty easy to punish, but Invisible Woman not so much. And yeah, this fight doesn't last too long. Obviously, I don't get her down, but I got cheesed basically. So the global node on this Alliance War is the evade one, and so I mean, I'm sure you saw it where she evaded and got a little bit of power. That's the global. And yeah, we're gonna take down her shield, and let's see, we're almost there. Just was being very cautious to make sure I don't go in, and yeah, she evades. So I'll rewind this so you guys can see. But yeah, I go in to hit into her block once. She evades, and because she's in the corner, she's able to counter me, and I die. Oh my gosh, I don't. Whatever. It's a death. It's what it is. We did end up winning the war, but mechanics are trash, man. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.